My name is DJ Hapa, also known as the DJ Coach. Welcome to Tribe, where you're among fellow music lovers who want to share our love and passion for music with the rest of the world. I'm here to help you get started, so let's get going. First off, you should be in front of the decks. Now, for some reason, the decks are not in front of you. Go ahead and hit the Y button on your left-hand controller. That Y button will reset the decks and snap you right behind them. But speaking of decks, you have a full setup in front of you. This type of rig you would find on a festival stage or nightclubs around the world, and I don't want you to be intimidated. I know there's a ton of knobs and faders and buttons. What does it all do? Don't worry, I'll show you how it all works. But just to point this out, you have two decks. Here's one deck, here's your second deck, and here's the mixer in the middle. My job here at Tribe is to help you get started and to pick up some momentum. So, we've created some lessons that will walk you through some of the basics. I'll explain a concept, then I'll do it, and then you'll do it. And by the time we're done, you will know enough of the basics to be able to get started and start having fun inside of Tribe. Now, if for some reason you want to skip the tutorials right now, no worries. You can always access them later inside of Free Play, inside of the main menu. But I hope that you'll come along with us right now. All right, it's time for me to jump behind the decks with you. So I know that some of us might be newer to VR. So if I hold my palms up to the sky, we'll see this blue sphere. This is the contact point. So as I hover over a fader or a knob or a button, it will light up blue. And that means it's ready to be controlled. In fact, I actually have a pink bar right in front of me if you look down, and I can raise or lower the height of the table. Pretty cool feature. So I'm going to use my trigger finger to be able to grab either a fader or a knob or a button, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Here we go. I'm going to hover over the volume fader. I'm going to grab it by holding the trigger in, and now I can move my arm, my wrist with it, and it's like I'm controlling an actual fader. Same thing with a knob. I can hover over the low, and I'm just twisting my wrist as I'm holding it, just like I would a regular knob. If I hit a button, same thing. Great. In fact, actually, even with the jog wheel, I can rewind it. Pretty cool, right? All right, let me get out of the way so that you can try it out. And when you are ready to move on to the next lesson, just go ahead and click Next Lesson. Let's talk about loading songs. So we need some music to be able to DJ with. So let me show you where we can get our music. Go ahead and hit B on the right-hand controller. That'll bring up our menu. The second icon in is music. Let's click on that. And here's where we're going to find our sample songs. So let's go ahead and load one song onto one deck, and then let's load another song onto our other deck. So now, just to ensure that the songs have come in properly, if I look over at the top of the CDJ, there is a screen. Inside of that screen, we'll see a waveform that's been built. We'll see the title of the song and the BPM, and I can see I've got that on both decks, which means awesome, we're good to go. So now it's your turn. All I'm going to have you do is just load two songs, one on each deck, and then when you're ready, go ahead and click Next Lesson. Go for it. All right, let's talk about play and pause. So there are tons of knobs and buttons on this rig, but I just want to draw your attention to the bottom left-hand corner of the player, of each player, right there. That is our play pause button. So if I go ahead and hit play, track plays, hit it again, and the track pauses. Simple enough. Now it's your turn. Give that a shot. And when you're ready, go ahead and click next to move on to the next lesson.
just wanna get together.
Now, the cue button is a little trickier. In fact, this is what I would call a bookmark. So it's like a temporary bookmark. And right now, it's set to the very beginning of the track. And the way that I know that is if you hover over, you'll be able to see there's a little orange triangle right at the very beginning. That is our temporary cue. And you can tell that this is orange and that triangle is orange. So they correspond. So watch what happens when I hit the cue. I'm holding the trigger down and it's playing. As soon as I let my hand off the trigger, it goes back to the very beginning, back to that orange part. So, now, this is a way that I can preview the song before playing it. And in fact, this is great as you're listening to a song and auditioning it before bringing it into the mix. So, as I do this, and I go back to the top, I'm actually saving myself a lot of time. The alternative would be to hit play, then hit pause, then rewind the song back to the top. By using cue, I'm saving a lot of time and a lot of effort by just using cue and holding it down. So I want you to try something. It's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift your hand off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift your hand off. So I'm just letting this play for 4 beats. Great. Now it's your turn. Give this a shot, and when you're ready to move on, go ahead and click Next to move on to the next lesson. Now, I can use cue and play together, and I want to